Well, how about a reaction to the penalty that came your way and how you feel about it after you've had a little bit of time to think about it?
Certainly don't feel any better than I did, finding out in the moment. It's really hard. It's really hard in this kind of format when you work so hard in the regular season, right? To get all those bonus points, it's really tough to see it just wiped away. And so, but it's part of it, and we got to just overcome now.
What's going through your head when like David Wilson and them are explaining what happened to you?
Just had questions, try to get some clarification on exactly how, what, when, and all that stuff. But they obviously were very regrettable to have to give me that information when they did, and so I feel bad for them because I knew that they did not want to have to bring me in a room and tell me that it was we're going to have something that is going to affect our season.
Who told you? How do you respond, Denny, with this? Like, in terms of, do you speak to the team and say, okay, we've been kicked right now, but we've got 2 races to go, and how do you rebound from this and respond?
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta. So what now? What? I mean, you have to just figure out, what's the best path forward, and the best path is just to win, right? And win, and just make sure you can finish races the best you can. And obviously our room for error is gone now, and we just will hope to get through the rounds.
Do you wonder what's next? I mean, my goodness, and it's a long enough career, but you've talked about all the crazy stuff, whether it's Talladega roof hatch, the Hail Melon, the Homestead stuff. I mean, and there's many other things. It just seems like it's a ongoing list, and does this top it?
Well, this definitely tops it for sure, because it was something that didn't happen in a certain moment, right? It was hey, we got to go back to kind of tell you what happened a while ago. So, but I mean, should I be surprised? I don't think so. But I mean, it's I don't know. It's hard to not feel and be negative in the moment, and I am in the moment. I feel negative about it, not about the decision or anything like that, just about our season and potentially what it could or couldn't do.
Do you wonder why this stuff keeps happening to you?
I wish I had an answer, because it's so random. The things that are happening are absolutely random, and so it's not the it's still up to us to go out there and win races and perform, right? And I think if we had the results that equal the same as our performance, we'll still make it and everything will be fine. It's just the sample size is about to get real small, and it just takes away all that room for error in a time where sport can be random.
The way you and Gabehart have been able to battle back from adversity with, such a plum, could this be the catalyst that serves to push you to Phoenix?
Well, I'm motivated every single week. I really am, to win every stage, win every race, and I feel like I put my best foot forward every single week. So there's always, you can get a little spur of motivation from things like this. Absolutely, I think that the team, received it in a sense where they're motivated. I'm certainly motivated, but again, I don't need motivation. I just need results, right? And I just, I'm going to do the best I can to get the team the results that they deserve each week.
Do you feel like it hurts your integrity, or in the way people look at you, or do you feel, or at least the people that you care about, believe that it's a TRD thing and not JGR thing? Or
yeah, I think that negative people will have a negative outlook on it, certainly. But anyone with any education on the subject would know that it was an isolated incident, and everyone makes mistakes.
Who had to tell you, Denny? Who had to tell you? Because I can't imagine. And what was your first reaction, where you were like, were you mad? You handled it well publicly. We haven't heard much from you. Who told you, and what was your initial reaction?
Yeah, it was the TRD guys, David Wilson himself, and Tyler, and Andy, and those guys, and trust me, I walked in the room and saw it was just me and my crew chief and them and Gibbs. I knew it was something bad. So, it was. Listen, they didn't enjoy that moment any more than I did, for sure.
When was that, Denny? And secondly, do the playoff points obviously hurt more than the regular season points, so to speak?
no point matters until it does. That's the truth, is that it won't matter until it does. And so, the couple of years that we've missed the cut from the Final Four, it's been the Hail Mail, and we've had the power steering brake at Homestead. So it comes down to a couple of points here and there. It just means that we're going to have to be even that much greater when we get down to the second and third round. So I think they told me on Wednesday they needed to meet, and Thursday we met, and that was it.
What's the gut punch part of this that got you so down?
Just I knew, you celebrate these 1 point stage victories and race victories so much because of that, man, every round I've got that. And when I look at we're in contention for the regular season, that's gone. What we're potentially lost and could lose more. Like Blaney wasn't going to reach us in points, so at the worst we were going to be fourth. We could go back to 8th, 9th. It's not just those 10 points; it's the 7, 8 others that we're going to miss out on every round. So cumulative, it could be 50 or so points, and so that's the gut punch. Is like, damn it, this format rewards regular season excellence, but it certainly it allows you to have not a perfect day, one day, and still be able to race for a championship. But now I'm kind of back there in the middle where it's like I'm very vulnerable in some spots.
Denny, is there any solace to be taken in the fact that you found out and that this was addressed during the regular season rather than finding out after Darlington when the playoff grid is set and then that hits?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters from my standpoint, truthfully. If they would have told me 6 months ago, it would have felt the same, because maybe a little less if it was a long time ago, because I know, I can just win 5 more regular season races. We know that's not a reality now, so there's 2 to win, so there's an opportunity to get some of that back, but it still hurts all the while. It doesn't matter when.
Your competitors were kind of bummed for you that were racing around for the in regular season championship, and because it was not your fault. Do you take any solace in that at all? And to Bob's question about the integrity, this isn't on you.
No, it's not. But the rule's clear, and certainly I think the rule probably was written at a time where most of the teams were building their own engines, and so I think that it's a little bit different now with how the engines are through all manufacturers are a little bit different. But listen, Toyota's been a partner of ours, and I make mistakes that cost them victories at times, and they made a mistake that cost us here in the regular season. So that's just part of being partners, and I'd rather ride with them than anyone else. So I'm very bummed about it. Certainly, do I take solace in other drivers saying that sucks? Sure, but when you're all done racing, you care about your legacy, and you care about what drivers think of you from a talent perspective. And certainly, I feel like we're one of the teams that every week you're going to have to beat. We're always one of the up top, one of the favorites, and it's because of the team that Chris has put together, and I get to drive it. So we're just going to try to get more wins and see what it all stacks up by the end of the year.
Would you like to see more gray area in the rule book, or do you like that it's black and white?
Yeah, I'm certainly more in favor of just run the rules as they are. Certainly, I think that this put a lot of people in some really hard positions for sure. But NASCAR did what was right, and that was go by the rule book.
Should a race-winning engine just be torn down after a win? And they used to give credits, like you actually get it count as a second use, even if it wasn't. Like this seems so.
This is part of the cost cutting that we've been doing in our sport. This is a side effect.
Is it cut costs?
Yeah, because you have to rebuild the engine more times than what you want to, right? So they want to run the engine 3 times or so. So if you win on your first attempt with the engine, you don't want to have to rebuild it. You want to run it 2 extra times. But if you tear it down, it's got to get rebuilt again, and that costs money.
So you ran this engine one other place. Do you know where that was at?
I ran it last year, and then I ran it at Bristol and Darlington.
Okay.
So Denny, do you understand how this could happen? A lot of people, when we read it, were like, really, you got to be kidding. We understand they were telling the truth, but this hasn't happened. Like, do you kind of get it after they tell you more? You know, did you go through a closer, more detailed scenario, or you're like, well, S happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, once I kind of got educated on a little bit, I can understand it a little, and then there's a secondary protocol where it's like, well, how did that happen? So I think that certainly TRD looked at kind of their process, and I think David said they're updating it. But yeah, it was a colossal mistake, right? And so it's something that everyone wishes that they could take back or do different. But it happens. I mean, I had a power steering belt flip upside down in the middle of turn 1 and 2 at Homestead last year. I'm not surprised of anything. It's just it's tough.
Denny, does this force you to have to be maybe less kind to your teammates or even Bubba in helping them because of now trying to regain 5 or up to 7 playoff points, and instead of trying to push Bubba into a position or tie, or if Martin needed help, that you have to be more selfish tomorrow night?
Well, if you're speaking about tomorrow night, I mean, I planned on being selfish anyway. Being that I was racing Tyler for the regular season, but really I have to. I've got so many people around me in points now that I just need to get the best result that I possibly can. If there's opportunity to help my teammates, I definitely will, as long as it's not a detriment to what I believe will be my result.
To that point, there's 14 playoff points on the table. Does that, and these are both good tracks coming up for you specifically, does that give you a little bit more confidence that all 14 of those playoff points are attainable?
Yeah, I mean, certainly if we can get hot and win some races, it won't hurt as bad, right? We could get back to a decent number for playoff points for the first round, second round, third round. But yeah, there's always an opportunity, and certainly the tracks line up nicely for us.
This is Custom Patch Hats. But what makes us custom? Well, that actually begins with you. We're just bringing your unique vision to life. No knockoffs, no lookalikes. Your design is one of a kind. We know hats, we know design, and we know quality. The proof? It's in our production. Hand-stitched with precision and care, with brands you know and trust. A one-of-a-kind patch deserves a one-of-a-kind treatment, all the way to your doorstep. It's how we keep it custom.
Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Come back soon for more great racing videos. And if you like us, make sure to hit that subscribe button.